It has been a while since I've logged onto old school RuneScape, the trusty game that, wait, what? Everything in this game is about to change. Today, old school RuneScape sees the release of the Summer Sweep Up. This is essentially a rebalancing of combats all over the game. There are literally hundreds of changes coming out today, new items being added, and everything's getting a rebalance. If you're one of those people that say, why do we need new updates? Why not fix what we have already? This update is for you. Everything combat related from the Summer Sweep Up has now arrived, which is a hell of a lot of changes to old school RuneScape. The most seismic shift today is felt at the Tombs of Amascut. Literally every single room in this raid sees a change. Precise timing on this thing no longer needed. You're just going to be able to mine it and get a 1 down every time with 99 mining. But this little bit of extra leeway will help a lot at all mining levels. First boss, Akka. Look at him. He's only praying against one style now. Now, yes, it is true that Shadow is still just the best thing to do, butterflying away as usual, if you have absolute meta gear. But who has absolute meta gear? Not that many people that do TOA. Now that Akka only prays melee while he's trying to melee, it means that you can actually do range butterfly method. So you can use a Bofa and kite Akka around, just like you can with the Shadow butterfly method, but this time you're using range and it's a lot more accessible. This change alone speeds the raid up by a couple of minutes for budget setups, and if you just want to chill, because the boss only prays against one thing, that means that you can use your best DPS thing for longer. You switch to pray range, but I can still keep maging him, and I just have to pray range against his attacks. My mage is my best DPS, and I can use it on 2 out of 3 of the phases. Okay, so apparently this phase also sees changes. There are going to be fewer white orbs. Wow, there really are fewer white orbs. This is going to be so much easier. Well, this is completely free. I almost feel like they should have an invocation that turns on the old white orbs, because that was pretty fun. I'm going to stand here and see how much damage I take just leaving my character to chill. You get the idea. It is so much easier now. There's changes to Monkey Room. There's always changes to Monkey Room. I think this room's changed like 5 times. It's gradually getting shorter and shorter and shorter, and they've shortened it again today. The big change is with Baba now on a 400 and something. I would normally just come down here and start red Xing, but Baba no longer hits you through protect from melee. So this is going to be way less damage, this room. You can also share these rubble with sarcophagi, and yeah, you saw that. I got hit nothing. This boss now is incredibly easy. I'd say almost too easy. You just avoid the boulders and it's just damageless. No red Xing required. So I suppose it's not that much different, because you wouldn't use much supplies anyway if you were red Xing, but there's no need to anymore. And this speeds the raid up as well, because you can attack every 5 ticks rather than 6 ticks. They've also made it so you can put your items in the deposit pot to send them to the bank. Not just food. Okay. Hopefully my stuff is getting back safe and sound here. It definitely does help to clean up some space in your inventory, ready to use the supplies in your pouch. There is a brand new gem for the Keris, and I'm hoping that I can get it on my first KC. Please. I got the thread. No. Bro. Okay, 3 KC. I'm done trying. Okay, so when you get the new black gem, the Jewel of Amascut, you can make the Keris Partisan of Amascut, which is actually a very, very good melee weapon. If we take a look at the stats, it's 108 stab bonus and 67 strength bonus. If you compare that to, say, a Zamorak Hasta, Azami Hasta has 85 stab bonus. Remember, this one has 108, and this Zami Hasta has 75 strength bonus, so it's better than a Hasta. The Keris Partisan of Amascut is like the halfway house between a Hasta and when you get your Fang, and it's going to be more common than a Fang as well. Now let's talk about the big chest. The purple rate at Tombs of Amascut has changed. The overall purple chance for a raid level beyond 300 has been reduced. However, at the milestones of 350, 400, 450, and 500, the weighting of the Lightbearer and Fang has gone down, so the more desirable loot of the Shadow and Missouri has become more common. Now, Jagex haven't actually got specific with these numbers, so we don't really know what's going on, but with all the changes, I probably think that the time to complete is still pretty similar. The raid has been made a lot easier, and at the high raid levels, getting more shadows, getting more Missouri. I don't know. I feel like it's all going to shake out just fine. And I think overall it will just be a nicer grind. You might have missed it, but these days you can use a Halberd on Zulrah. Today's changes extends that behavior to other areas of the game. You can now use a Halley on flying creatures such as Avances. For the first time ever, we can melee these, which means that I'm going to be able to Halley Kriara. Now the question is this any good? Oh, a 65 off the bat with the Blood Fury popping off. Let's go. Halley spec. Crystal Halley is a great spec weapon, but I'm hitting zeros. Yeah, definitely not meta changing here at Kriara. You just don't have anywhere near enough accuracy. But keep in mind, for things like leagues in the future, now you can melee Kriara, which could be a massive time save. Possibly one of today's most hotly anticipated updates is here at the Desert Treasure 2 bosses. These bosses have been notorious for the Vestige drop system to get the rings. This drops in 3 parts, but you can't see your progress on the Vestige to make the ring. You could be 1 out of 3, you could be 2 out of 3, you'd never know. But Jagex have just made a change where you get a gold ring drop if you're 1 out of 3 or 2 out of 3. And this backdates, so because I'm 300 Vardorvis KC, I'll be able to see if I do have any progress towards the Ultor ring or not. Okay, come on, please. I need to see gold rings here. No! I've got no progress towards the ring. That actually sucks after what? 300 KC. Any gold rings at Whisperer? Yes! Oh, I got 2! That means I'm 2 out of 3 on Whisperer. Okay. I just need to hit the table one more time and I've got the Magus ring. All right, Leviathan, any luck? No, nothing here. Now, Duke actually sees more changes beyond just the ring indicators. You now have the ability to pick more mushrooms, which means that you can make more potions. Because I'm above 82 herb lore, I've now been allowed to collect the supplies to do 4 kills at once. Oh, and you can now left click feed Duke potions. That's kind of cool. Come on, any ring drops here? No, but because of the new change, I can instantly just go again with my potions once this guy respawns. There we go. That's going to speed things up so much and feel a lot nicer now. And speaking of rings, Jagex have added a brand new best in slot. Now you get the brand new ring from the deranged archaeologist. He finally has a unique on his table. Now this ring is the steel ring, which I'm about to pay over the odds for, I'm sure. 1 mil. Okay, it was very, very cheap. That is a serious piece of bling. That's a cool looking ring. Let's have a look at the stats. It's best in slot for stab and slash defense over the suffering at 20. This has 24 in each style. And it is a pretty common drop from the deranged archaeologist, so it shouldn't be too expensive. And that's not all for the ring changes. We do have the granite ring, which has been in the game forever, but as of today, you can actually imbue it with the scroll of imbuing, which changes the ring and makes it best in slot for range defense at plus 24, again, over the suffering's 20. And there are even more changes to existing items over here at Huey. Things were quite rare, so they've made the uniques a lot more common, including the Dragon Hunter wand, which does see some changes. The wand used to have 20% damage and accuracy against dragons. Now in today's update, this has been doubled to 40%, so this thing is actually pretty decent now. The crafting level for Huey hide has been lowered, and hides now drop in 3s, so this boss is just at a better spot when it comes to game progression. The next boss to get changes is Fasani's Nightmare. The most important change here is that Nightmare has 1 less phase. You're effectively starting on phase 2 these days. Fasani used to have 4 phases, it now has 3. The drop table hasn't changed, so this is essentially a massive buff to the loot per hour you're getting at Fasani, which is very cool, and probably the 5th time this has changed. It's been a long road, man. Okay, so I have not done that boss in a long time, but I imagine that's gotta be fast for me. There, yeah, a new PB, because I've essentially just skipped an entire phase. Before you get too excited, yes, the Grandmaster time has changed to 6 minutes. And if I die after today's updates, I just got put outside, which is actually so good. I collect all my stuff, and for science, I've just embarrassed myself in front of this guy. The Sleepy Tablet is now also 1 in 25 with dry protection. Praise the Lord. For our next boss, the change starts from the Grand Exchange. Keymaster teleports are now tradable in old school RuneScape. 74k, bruv. Now, if you do Ward of Arceus at Cerberus, it will drain less prayer when it summons the souls. Let me show you. Out they come, the souls. In the olden days, they drained 30 prayer points each without a spectral. Now, it's about 20 each instead. You can, however, stack the spectral and the ward, and they drain what, like 10 prayer points each? That is nothing. Oh yeah, and now you can stand right next to the lava pools and not get hit. You don't have to be 2 tiles away anymore. Next, up is Nex. The first good change for teams is that less damage is nulled when you hit a threshold. If Nex melees you, then she's guaranteed to melee you twice in a row if you are in melee distance, which is good for saving damage. And now when you hit Blood Reavers, you actually get healed back based on the damage that you deal. Now, I'm no Nex professional, as you can tell, so hopefully these changes are good. Moving on to the minions at Nex, which are quite interesting because they're parts of a wider rollout of a flat armor update. Loads of monsters today are seeing changes in their defense stats. Fumus is a Nex minion that is having its flat armor updated. And if we scroll across, Fumus now has a flat armor of -2, which means that you're guaranteed to do 2 more damage every hit you deal to Fumus. In this case, the consequence is fast-hitting weapons and multi-hitting weapons are now good versus Fumus. It's the same behavior we've gotten used to at Naguas or Perilous Moons. You can't hit below a 5 here because the Naguas have -4 flat armor. When my max hit normally would be a 1, I'm now hitting more than that, 2s on different monsters around the game that have a negative flat armor. And to keep track of all these defense changes and what's going on in the game, Jaggers have added a new spell to the normal spellbook, Monster Inspect, that you can use on any monster in the game. Well, it's kind of like an old spell. It's essentially Monster Examine from Lunas, but now it's on normals with a lower mage requirement. You can see all the info in this panel. 50% air weakness on ghosts, for example. And yes, there are a ton of elemental weaknesses coming into the game alongside the batch rolled out last year, basically doubling the monsters that have elemental weaknesses and changing some around that do. There are also huge changes to drop tables, from herbs and seeds to runes to gems to fish. Most of these are just straight up nerfs, but in the case of fish, there's been adjustments. Jagex have added a new skilling catalyst, Shark Lore. Wait, no way, I just got some Shark Lore. Where is it? Shark Lore. Shark Lore is going to act as a catalyst and speed up my shark fishing here, and I should be able to collect a lot per hour. Let's see how quick it actually is. It doesn't look that quick. It's not looking good, boys. Wait, there's a configure option on here. How much would I like to use at a time? Why wouldn't I use the maximum amount? Right, let's see if that speeds up the shark fishing process. We got one there. The XP does not look good. 17 XP, 18. Do we keep hitting sharks? Okay, so this is actually pretty quick shark fishing. Having said that though, you don't get very good XP and you can literally just buy food from shops faster, unfortunately. I think if you want to make skilling for resources worthwhile, there just has to be a bigger overhaul of the whole system. They are tradable. I sold my 900 each. Whoever bought those, you got scammed. And the final bosses to talk about are Obor and Brio Fighter. Now, to fight Obor and Brio, you don't need a key. No giant key needed. You can just come in here and kill the boss however you want. This is great for combat achievement doers. You won't get any regular loot anymore. Berry giant bones. What's this? Prayer XP, how much? 150 prayer XP per. Okay, so you can sort of farm Obor now. And if I want to open this chest to get actual loot, then I do need the giant key. So it just makes it a bit easier to get combat achievements done. Okay, I brought a key just to show you. You open the chest and you get a roll on the normal loot table as you did pre-update. I wonder if this prayer XP is useful. It doesn't feel fast enough to be useful, but it is a cool little bonus for free-to-play players. Overall, the sweep up, very, very impressed so far, and there is more to come. And now that I'm done with event management, I will be back to playing and making videos. I've got some things I'm very excited for coming up, so make sure you are subscribed, and I'll see you tomorrow for sailing.